of the church is on another level. And people need authentic leadership. And that's why we are losing. Look at somebody saying, you see, you'll be shocked that the person saying that, you may discover that the person is a divorcee. Maybe they are struggling with their own personal trauma and how to interpret their reality. But religion, because religion is very terrible. I've said it over and over again, religion is more dangerous than the devil. You see, when you practice Christianity as religion, you are going to be a pawn in the hands of charlatans behind the pulpit. When you practice Christianity as religion, you're going to be a victim of the myopic, limited, uninformed, unexposed interpretation of scriptures of the people you listen to. They will tell you one thing today, tomorrow they will say, oh, God has spoken to me, I've changed my mind. But what about the people you've told what you told? So, and a lot of pastors too don't, like I always say this, to be a lawyer, you go to school, graduate, go to law school, then you continue to get recertified. To be a doctor, you go to school, then you do medical school, housemanship, you continue to be certified. To be a pastor, all you need is to say you heard the voice
of God.
That only you heard, that nobody else heard, and people's destiny are your hand. And over 80% of pastors did not go to Bible school. So they are not even theologically sound. They are not, so they just carry personal revelation, turn it to a doctrine, personal experience, turn it to a doctrine. So when they even see, you see, when you know the truth, it's easy to detect a lie. But when lie is perpetuated over and over again, it becomes your truth. And because a lot of people don't also understand the hypocrisy of the church, they get into this victim level. And I tell people, you don't believe in miracles, you need one. And people will do one thing, come to the pulpit and preach another thing. But I believe, God hates divorce, but he does not hate the divorcee. The divorce is not something that anybody wake up one day and say, let me go and get married so that in 5 years time I'm just divorced. No, but life happens.
Because this is somebody you're sharing your whole life with, probably have kids together with.
Oh my God.
So there's no easy divorce.
There's none. And that's why there are things that they don't tell you.
About divorce.
So if you think it's palatable, don't try it.
Before we go further, please, we are watching, after the impact of the last 3 videos we did, please everybody go and watch that video. All right. There was part 1, part 2, part 3, because of how intense it was. After that, we got a lot of calls and messages, and you also mentioned that you got a lot as well.
People wanted premarital counseling.
Yes, people wanted.
Premarital counseling. People are married. They say, okay, we are ready to work on it. Can we go through a counseling session? So it costs money.
It costs money. Even those that also
those that are divorced
already.
That's okay. What do I now do? Can I remarry and all those stuff? So
and because the church largely focuses on singles and married, but we don't do so much. I know we do some once in a while, but we don't do so much for people that are single after married. All right. So there's singles, there's married, there's no single after marriage, because there's some people that are now single after marriage, either by death or by divorce. They are now single again, after marriage. We need to also provide ministry for them. So we have set up part of our ministry that does counseling. We've set up a proper divorce arm. So if you need that, please reach out. These counselors, some of them are divorced, some are not, but they are learned, they are experienced, some have legal background as well. So they are learned in the area of divorce. So if you are considering divorce, they can advise you, help you really ascertain if that is the best move, because sometimes some people have jumped ship and thought it was easier. They were jumping from frying pan.
The grass is not green on the other side though. If you water your own. So I say to people, if you don't have what you love what you have.
So they will help you make sure the divorce you're thinking about, is that the best thing for you? Then if you're already divorced, they will also help you navigate, because that's an experience by itself that most people don't know how to navigate. Then if you're also thinking of remarrying as a divorcee, you need to also prepare. Then if you're thinking of marrying someone that is divorced, because in every divorce case, sometimes the 2 people were wrong or bad. Sometimes the 2 people might even be good and just lack knowledge. But sometimes there's one bad person that corrupted the union. And when you want to marry a divorce, you need to be sure that the person,
not the bad person.
Not the bad person you are choosing.
The bad person, they have learned their lesson, they have changed.
Because if not, they will just reproduce
after their kind.
Yes, because the divorce rate among divorcees is higher than the normal marriage. So because some of them are just carrying the problem to another marriage instead of actually learning the lesson. So this divorce department we have will help you process if I should even divorce at all, if I should go back to my my marriage. Because my marriage are divorced, I need to come back. If I want one of my guys out here in Houston, we're planning to shoot with his wife. I call the series I'm doing "My Divorce Failed, but My Marriage Worked." So we're looking at people that have divorced and came back together. I have one of them even right here in the audience with me as well. So we're going to do that. Just help make sure people are getting help. And as we travel around the world, we do Q&A. People ask me questions from the Slido or from the audience. But every time at the end, people come privately. People that are divorced, because they couldn't ask their question publicly and say, "I'm divorced," or "I'm planning to divorce," or "I've just divorced. What do I do?" So we found out there was a demand as well for people, in that space to receive, ministry, as well. So before we go into today's topic, just for the records, do you support divorce?
No, I don't. Because I believe that the ideal for anyone is to find love and enjoy that love in their lifetime. But when life happens, life happens.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that because you have divorced, then you have missed the purpose of God for your life, or you will not fulfill the purpose of God for your life. Life happens. So I don't believe in divorce. I don't believe that people should divorce. I believe that there is no problem that cannot be solved, but it takes two. Only one person cannot make marriage work. And I've said this over and over again. There is no marriage that has ended in divorce that did not have a chance to survive if the two people were willing to work. And there's no marriage that is doing well today that did not have a chance to break, except for the fact that the two people decided to work on it. So I've been in meetings to speak, friends doing 25, 45 years. I've even done 50-year wedding advice where I'm the speaker. And I know the friend that is doing 50 years wedding advice. I know the story. There are many here, but you see, it's like I said to people, it's like a cake. When you are eating the cake is sweet, but what makes up the cake? Raw egg, raw flour, raw sugar. But when they come together, so when you see 50 years, it's 50 years of forgiveness, forbearance, endurance, sometimes separation and return. But you don't have all those because people don't share all those things. They just package everything and say, they just give the testimony. God did it. I got run out. And then they won't tell you all the other things. So I don't believe in divorce, even though I've been divorced. And it doesn't mean I will judge people, but I just know that life happens. Because as a pastor, last year I celebrated 35 years in full-time ministry. In 36 years of being in ministry, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And like we said, people should just go and watch this. It was really very balanced. Watching it back by myself, I'm like, wow, this thing really covered a lot of ground.
It was a divinely orchestrated thing. So for those that will still come in the comment section and say these two pastors are not even of God, I still got that chance coming today.
That way you don't come go gather lawyer and say, see, they have no created lawyer to be helping people to read their marriage.
You made a statement that people don't know. They don't know the purpose of miracle until they need it. Sometimes you don't know the purpose of divorce. It was even God, even though it was not God's original plan, but it was God that still created divorce. Because some people were being oppressed. So you need to understand the origin of some of these things. All right, it's not men that came up with divorce, but people were being oppressed in marriage, and God said, look, it's better to let this person go into their freedom. God hates divorce, but God hates oppression. God hates depression.
He hates lies.
He hates lies. He hates many things. All right, so it's violence. It's there. So we cannot support divorce. It makes no sense. My whole ministry is built on marriage. So if I believe in divorce, then I must be one of the biggest fools in the world. It makes no sense. So we definitely do not support divorce. However, we know it does happen. We know there are times that is beyond your control, and it does happen, and people still need support and counsel, while they go there. So God's perfect will is, of course, for people to live together. Same way God's perfect will is for people to walk in divine health. But people will get sick. That's the reality of life. All right, so please let's be clear on that before we go into today's. We spent quite a long time on the intro.
Yes, to help the skeptics and help the religious mindset.
Yes, we got a lot of is it flashback they call it, or pushback? That these two men of God, they are not really men of God. In fact, your own was worse than my own. They said Pastor Kinsley was even balancing it. But Pastor Olumide Emmanuel, he believed that you go and watch the full story. It was a moment of vulnerability for him, like you mentioned. Most people were shocked when they heard the full story. The impact was all over the world. Really. We got feedback from everywhere,
all over the world.
People that were healed because they've gone through something like that. The church, ostracized them.
Do you know what I went to? Those, we saw for singles now. It was like
stadiums.
Everybody said, physician, heal thyself.
Yes, nobody wants to touch you. The church does that. They will just
put it everywhere, dry up. Churches that I bought land for. People I bought equipment for that I was preaching every year. The old door just shut down. Palm.
Yes.
It's as if your own don't finish.
Yes.
So you are not God.
Yes.
God does not need people's approval.
Except you're not really a human, or you don't even have the spirit of God. You can't watch those 3 videos and what you would think is that this man is just about. You need to first sympathize with what has happened, what he has been through. If you listen well, you will see what happened first.
Do you know that some of the people that were against me then, some of them have divorced?
You see,
I didn't even know. They were now calling me. I faced my own. They were now saying, so he said, I said, but you didn't say I can't call you when I've judged you before. And now realize that, hey, I don't say my own. They wait for me in front.
Yes.
But it is well.
But let's so go and watch basically. So let's get to today, emoji. What are 7 things they don't tell us?
Number 1, it leaves a scar. It leaves a scar. You see, this is my finger here. You can see this scar here. I was not yet 10 years old when I fell by the side of our house in the place, and then bottle, cut this end, and it had to be stitched.
Wow.
So I was not 10 years. So this scar has been there for over 40 years.
Wow.
Over 40 years, and I'm still looking at it in my hand
right now.
So the same way you have a physical scar when there's a wound, when there's a divorce, there's a scar. The scar is there because whether you like it or not, it's like a woman that did D&C.
Yes.
Even though the wound is healed, or CS or whatever, it's healed, the scar is there. So that's the way it is. So many times people are carrying that scar because there's something that's happened contrary to your plan and your expectation, contrary to, because nobody goes to the wedding day to say, because see, I tell people, you meet someone, you go through the process, and then you go to the altar and say, I do. The same two people that said I do, we end up in the court and say irreconcilable difference. There are no irreconcilable difference, only irreconcilable people.
Yes.
It's because you are not willing to pay the price, and only one person cannot make it work. So there is that scar. That's number one. So they don't tell you, but the scar is there. So it's like, I don't know if to use this example, but I've sat down with a lot of people that are, plus size, and no matter how much they try to prove that I'm okay with my size, I'm okay, they are not really okay. Sometimes like you can't be okay with this. So down a few years down the line, they will now begin to tell you their story. I did this, but you were telling us you were okay. So there is a scar, and people need to understand that. You see, a woman gets pregnant, gives birth to a child. The experience she goes through, no man can explain it. No matter the revelation you are, because you have not gone through it.
Yeah.
When Jesus spoke to Peter, he said, Peter, there is an experience you will go through. He said, Satan has desired to sift you like a wheat. He said, but when you are converted, strengthen your brethren. Going through divorce leaves a scar that gives you the opportunity to help other people not to be scarred. And so your misery becomes a ministry. It becomes something that you can now use to help people to say, don't go that route, or this is the way to. So that's number one. It leaves a scar. And many times people don't talk about that. Number two, it leaves a stigma. So tomorrow, there are people that no matter what you say,
yes,
Olumide Emmanuel is a persona non grata.
Yes, he's not a man of God.
No matter what you say, let him raise the dead. Forget it.
Yes.
I love that guy. I love his message, but that divorce thing, there's no way anybody can explain to me. People tell me, he's a man of God. I appreciate you, but that thing, because I can't tell you this. Look, one of my friends called me, and he said somebody called him that he didn't know that. He said, my brother, you didn't tell me you are doing this thing now. After 17 years, you did. He said, who is this Kisleep guy? What did he do to convince you to talk that people have been calling me in London? He said, I had to go and watch it. He said, because I didn't know. He said, then when the people now were calling, he said, no, have you seen now? He said, but you didn't even tell them that all the things you said that they are shouting. You didn't say, say now only Islam. You never thought, I said, no, we can't go there. So am I going to expose everything to you? So people don't understand things. So it leaves a scar, it leaves a stigma. So the stigma is still there. Some people till tomorrow they will go to, I don't go to a church where the pastor has divorced and remarried.
Yes.
There are people, one of my pastors did not greet my wife.
Yes,
for 14 years.
Wow.
He has never one day gone to say happy wedding anniversary.
Wow.
One of my top guys. And I called her and said,
yeah.
My wife will say, this guy, I greet him, he doesn't greet me, I don't understand.
Wow.
My baby, it's like, and when I called him, he said, it's true. That I don't have any problem, but that, once somebody has divorced and remarried, I don't like celebrating remarriage. So it's not about you. I honor you, I honor your wife, but I'm telling you.
Wow.
To say happy wedding anniversary, to my wife is like he's endorsing divorce.
In his own books.
A great man of God.
In his own books, this
guy is a solid man of God on all levels. But you can see what that it's a software. Once it's locked in. He couldn't just understand that. How do you say you honor a man and you're not greeting the wife? Now me divorce, my wife no divorce now.
Yes.
It's me that divorced and remarried. That's our own first marriage. And yet, so you have the stigma. So even you won't marry divorcee, it's part of what you have to be ready to carry the stigma, because some people will believe that, now you destroyed the marriage.
Yes. You are the one that was,
You are the one that, maybe you are the one that prayed against the marriage. There are all kinds of things that when people talk like this, you're like, where did your mind come up with this kind of script? So there will be that stigma that will be there. So some people just believe that you're not a man of God. Some people believe there's no message you can preach. Some people just believe that you cannot be trusted. Some people just, so there are all kinds of things out there. So you have to face it. There are some people that have now, after that time, that's when they now started inviting me back.
Wow.
After the interview, say, man of God, you need to come back. We need you. I've been seeing you going up and up. I say, I wish I can invite this man, but that thing. But now they are now wanting to invite me back. I'm like, hello. So that stigma is something they don't tell you. You carry the stigma. Everywhere you go, there will be people that will still be looking at you, that will still be judging you, that will never accept you. So just accept yourself, because God has accepted you, and focus on your focus and move on with your life and destiny. And there's also good. Number 3, they don't tell you that you have to carry some baggages for the rest of your life. Do you know that up until I think even January this year, January, I went to up until January this year, I met someone that was not even aware of anything. I was still asking, he's asking of my
17 years after.
No, we're talking like 2005. That's 20 years after.
20 years after. Somebody was asking you of your.
That you have moved from that place that I used to. I just kept quiet. I say it is well. God is in control. What do you want to say? That's a baggage you are still carrying.
Yes.
There are people that, I don't know if I said it. Like, I have books I had to lose books worth over 10 million naira that still has the names and the video and the picture of my ex, and because my books are all over the world. So if somebody called me from Arkansas, you say, Pastor, your books are here, 3 Ghana must go of books. By the time I say show me the book, I say just give it away to anybody who wants to, because it's so there is a baggage you still have to carry, because if you now say, okay, you are remarried, maybe you now marry another divorcee, or that one to come with children, there will be blended family. You have to carry that baggage. Now you have children from this one, children from this one. It's a baggage. It's a baggage that you have to deal with, and sometimes the baggage is a major continual reminder of this happened, that happened. So when you think, oh, we are good, somebody will ask you a question or say something that will take you back again. You're like, hey, okay, now wow. So this is not the end. So but most of the time people don't see all that. And that's why I tell people, don't just jump out there thinking, because a lot of people, marriage is sacred. And it's not an institution that was established by your culture or your desire. It was God that instituted it, and instituted it for a divine purpose. So it's not something you just enter into lightly and jump in and jump out, because the world we live in today, people have tried to bring marriage into a place of deception. They now talk marriage is a scam, and because it's only the negative testimonials that people see. And especially in the days of social media, even those that are doing well, they don't want to talk about their, because as if you talk well now, some people will now be hiring your husband, hiring your wife, and you have all this kind of funny thinking that people have. So those are things that I feel that people should note.